At this point, I want to call up a colleague of mine, someone who knows about this. Not only is an elected official, and someone who's been calling this out the whole time, but he knows a little bit about this because he's a father of small children, so he speaks from personal experience. He also ran a busing company and dealt with schools and transporting our most precious resource, our children, back and forth to schools. And so he is someone who comes to this with a wealth of experience and knowledge, and that is my colleague, Senator Mike Martucci. Absolutely. Sorry.
Thank you, Leader. So look, you're absolutely right. You know, when every morning before I come here to work, part of my morning routine is getting a kindergartner and a first grader ready for school. And that's not an easy task, as many of the parents behind me know. But the part of the morning that's always a fight is the part where we have to put the masks on. And the leader said it best when he said it doesn't add up. I have a 5-year-old and a 6-year-old whose combined ages add to 11. And together they know more than the majority in this legislature and our governor know about what's happening in our schools. They're living this reality every single day. So I couldn't be prouder to stand here with my colleagues calling out this injustice to our kids and going to the floor today and bringing an amendment on behalf of this conference and the millions and millions of New York school kids, 2.3 million kids that go to school here in the state of New York, to fight for their right. Because what we know today is a lot more than we knew back a year and a half ago. What we know is that adults 65 and over are 500 times more likely than our youngest kids to be affected by this and be hospitalized, right? But yet, there's no mask mandate that exists today for people over 65. So one would ask, why? Why do we have a mask mandate that's applying to a group that, again, is 500 times less likely to be affected? As the leader said many times, and it has to be, it warrants being said again, it's about political science. It isn't about the real science. You know, every time I turn on my television, I'm sure you have the same experience here and at home, you see Dr. Bassett. And Dr. Bassett has a new television commercial about why it's so important. We have to get our children vaccinated, and we must make sure they're wearing masks. And we, this group here, has been accused throughout this entire pandemic of fear-mongering. Well, you talk about fear-mongering. Here are almost endless television and radio commercials every single day that says if you don't make sure you do all these things for your kids, they're going to get sick and they can even die. When in reality, the science doesn't justify it in the least. Now, our conference today is going to present a common sense amendment that is a long overdue amendment that is finally going to put the control back in the hands of parents. Our parents get to do one thing, which is make healthcare decisions for their children and get to make education decisions for their children. And it's time today that the governor stops substituting her judgment for judgment of parents around this state. There might be parents who choose to mask their children, and that's their choice. We're not stopping anyone or prohibiting anyone from continuing to use masks if they choose or if their individual situation warrants it. But what's well overdue and long overdue is making sure that our kids finally have the opportunity to unmask. And today, we're going to be calling on the majority to take action. It's fine that finally government butts out and lets parents make a decision. It's time to unmask our kids. So with that, it's my honor to introduce my friend and colleague, Senator Jordan, to speak more on this issue about how these masks are adversely affecting our children.